I tried a lot of things. Support and resistance, Fibonacci. This strategy is the one that I felt more comfortable with, that gave me my edge in the market. We're gonna have accumulation, manipulation, the distribution. Or our perfect entry would be around this area. After it takes the most recent high, I like to go break even, take a few profits off, and then let some of the runners go. Maybe I'll go like a bit right here, instead of going way at the bottom.
Why would you tighten it up?
Because your risk management has to be on point with your lot size and your contracts. Like I said, I would target 1 to 2, and there you go, TP. If I don't feel and I'm not confident about.
Welcome back to another episode of Strategies. Today, we have a very special guest, a new member of the Wayond team, Mounir trades. Mounir has been trading for the past 5 years and has been consistently getting prop firm payouts for the past 2 years. He's a futures trader and he's actually an ICT trader. Just kidding. Today, we're gonna be going over his strategy, how he discovered it, and his strategy is very, very mechanical. This is, of course, something that has came through years of experience in the markets, but is this a strategy you first started with, or is this something that developed over time?
I tried a lot of things. Support and resistance, Fibonacci, a lot of things, but this strategy is the one that I felt more comfortable with, that gave me my edge in the market.
And how did you learn this strategy?
So basically it's an easy strategy. It's basically AMD, or also known as PO3, which is accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. With my strategy, it has 2 models actually. It's the one with the reversal, which is like when the accumulates, manipulates, and then distributes, which is the reversal. So it's going down and then reverses back up.
So it's a type 1 setup?
Exactly. Or the continuation model, which we already skipped the manipulation and we're just gonna ride the distribution up or down.
And would you classify this as an ICT trading strategy?
You could say in a way.
Okay.
In a way, yeah.
Okay, cool. Where should we start?
All right, so we're gonna go with the first one, which is the reversal model. We're gonna have accumulation, manipulation, and then the distribution. This is the accumulation. Manipulation is gonna be right here, okay, and the distribution. Where we're looking for, or our perfect entry, would be around this area to catch the bottom and then try to aim, for the most recent highs or any of that.
And what instruments are you trading with this strategy?
Usually just NQ. NQ plays the best with this kind of strategy.
And is there a specific session that you like to trade?
Yes.
Do you trade multiple sessions?
Usually I like to trade just New York because that's the perfect time window for me. I have a perfect time window, which is after the stock exchange opens, the New York Open, which is 9:30. I usually take my trades between 9:45 and 10:15. That's like when I try to look for a very good entry. Because after the 9:30, we have like 15 minutes. And then, from there, the market usually knows where it wants to go. So the manipulation usually either happens or it happened before, and then like you can very easily tell where the market is going up or down.
And so you will not trade this if the New York session opens up and it doesn't manipulate?
So usually the manipulation sometimes happens before the New York Open, and sometimes it happens at the New York Open. So you need to kind of like have a bit of chart time so that you can identify when the manipulation usually happens. But usually most of the time it happens at like 9:30 and then reverses, continues, for the rest of the day.
And it sounds like it's something that you need to have to see closer details. So are you using smaller timeframes for this strategy?
Yes. So usually the 5 minute is the best time for me. Sometimes I do go down to the 1 minute, but just for the perfect entries. But usually the 5 minute is the most confirmation I need, to be confident with the setup that I'm going.
And when you have your top-down analysis, what's the highest time frame that you're using for your bias?
Usually the 1 hour, because I move from the 1 hour, 15, and then 5. Just so that you know where the market, like usually wants to go, or the bias for the day, let's say.
Yeah.
Now I want to just explain the type of entries that I have, because there are 2 types of entries. So there's an inverse fair value gap and also a change in status of delivery, also known as breakout structure.
And can you explain for people that are watching that maybe don't know what a inverse fair value gap is or a change of structure is? Can you kind of demonstrate what that is?
Yes, of course. Let's say if the market is going lower, this is, let's say, a bearish fair value gap. An inverse one would be if this happens and it inverses this fair value gap, it breaks through it.
Okay.
So you have a bearish fair value gap, and then a bullish one just inverses it, breaks through it.
So with
Yeah.
fair value gaps, price can either test it and continue back
Exactly.
down,
It
or it can
either-
just break through, which
So
you
when
classify
that
as.
when it inverses, that's a very good sign that the market wants to start reversing. The other one is the change in state of delivery, which is if the market is moving downwards and then it breaks the most recent low and then goes back up and breaks the most recent high. That's also known as a breakup structure. So this would be the change in state or breakup structure.
Now, when it comes to entering and exiting your trades, what is your entry exit plan?
Okay, usually what I like to do is go for 1 to 2. That's the safest option for me. But sometimes, the market gives you other opportunities which you try to capitalize on that. Like I usually like to target the most recent highs. So the most recent high would be this. Yeah, my entry would be around here. So I would go for the stop loss would be the manipulation candle, and my take profit would be at this most recent high, which is the safest option for me, which usually gives me around a 1 to 2. But like I said, if you caught the manipulation, the distribution usually delivers way higher. After it takes the most recent high, I like to go break even, take a few profits off, and then let some of the runners go. And then whenever I feel like, and I keep on trailing my stop loss higher and higher and higher to try to squeeze as much as I can from the market.
So what are your non-negotiable rules when it comes to entering a trade?
If I don't feel and I'm not confident about the setup, okay, because the market doesn't always deliver the way you want it to, I need to always be confident about the setup that I'm taking. Because if I'm not, I'm gonna get emotional, and then you can never know what happens after
on,
that,
tell
right? Exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah. So usually I really like to be always confident with the setup that I'm taking. Also, if I take a losing trade, 2 is max for me. 2 trades a day are max for me. Okay. I don't like to go over that.
All right, that makes a lot of sense. So now, Mounir, I want to hop on to the markets and see how this strategy plays out. Trading can be a lonely game, and that's why most traders fail. Wayond Plus fixes that. Live trading every day, Monday through Friday for London and New York sessions. We have a full structured education library from beginner to advanced and exclusive courses from the traders that you watch right here on Wayond. Plus exclusive giveaways, rewards, and a community full of traders on the same journey as you. Everything you need, all in one place, all in one community. Visit the link in the description below to become the next Wayond Plus member. Now, let's get back to the episode. Okay guys, so now we're on the charts. By the way, this is not live trading. This is just back testing from TradingView, doing a TradingView replay. If you do want to see more of this, Mo goes live every single day inside Wayond Plus for London and New York session. Let's dive to the charts.
Let's go. So as we can see here, this is an indicator that I usually use, okay, that helps me navigate the sessions easier. Okay, it's called Lux Algo, Sessions by Lux Algo. It's right here. It just gives me Asia, New York, London, and usually what are we gonna trade? New York session, we're gonna wait for the 9:30 open, and then at 9:45 to 10:15, we're gonna try to look for a trade. But as soon as we open the markets, what do we see? That Asia was accumulating. We got the manipulation in London. And what do we expect after that? So accumulation, manipulation during London, broke Asia lows. Distribution, which we're gonna expect just like this, okay? So we're just gonna play. So 9:25, we're waiting for the 9:30 open, okay? This is how 9:30 opened, just manipulated up, went down. All right, perfect. So as you can see here with the 5 minutes, you really can't get any fair value gap, any change in state. You already know that the market already manipulated and it's gonna go up. So what I like to do here is usually go down to the 1 minute, maybe get a more precise entry. This is the 1 minute time frame. Okay, we saw the 5 minutes. We know that it accumulated, manipulated, and now we're gonna try to search for a perfect entry, let's say. This is around 9:46. 9:47, we said an inverse fair value gap would be the perfect entry for us, or a change in state. But as you can see here, it manipulated even more down, okay, with the 9:45, 9:30, 15-minute candle. We're looking at this manipulation, okay? And then, so this is where we got an inverse fair value gap, okay, right here. That would be the kind of perfect entry for us. How would I go about it? Because it's a pretty big
That is a steep SL.
That's a steep SL. So how would I go about it? I will enter the trade right here. Okay, see how much it is. That would be a pretty steep entry for me. So maybe I'll go like a bit right here instead of going way at the bottom.
Why would you tighten it up?
Because if I'm wrong and this closes, with another inverse fair value gap, then my bias is going to be wrong anyway. It wouldn't have just come down all the way here for it to, let's say, take a ISL or wait for it. I would be managing the trade anyway and seeing if my bias is wrong. And like I said, I would target 1 to 2, and then we're going to just wait for it and see how it plays out. We'll just wait for it, and there you go, TP. Right?
And further continued up.
And further continued up. So with this, just like I told you before, I'll go break even and then take a bit of profits out, 50%, and then let the runners go. And then see where it's gonna reach. I'm gonna keep on looking at the trades for a bit more. If I'm confident, it's gonna keep on going up, I'll just trail my stop loss. I'll keep on trailing my stop loss up, until I'm fully out of the position.
Very mechanical and simple.
Yeah. So this is one of the examples. Let's go try and find another example. We're seeing this from a 5-minute timeline. As you can see, it happened. Asia usually always accumulates. What's happened just here? As you can see the box. But like I said, I have 2 entry models for this. So it's the continuation and the manipulation. Okay, the first model, we gave an example for that. So this is probably going to be the continuation model. So as you can see here, there is no manipulation in any kind. Nothing manipulated, nothing took, London low, Asia lows, nothing of that. It just accumulates and then it just continued going higher and higher. Okay, so you kind of need to know how to identify the markets in that sense and know which model you're going to go for the day. This is where usually the 9:30 opens. So it opened and it just fully went very, very
impulsive move.
Impulsive move up.
Created big fair value gap, right?
Exactly, a big fair value gap. What we're gonna be looking for is obviously buys, since no manipulation, and this is the continuation model. Just gonna keep on going up and wait for our entry, which is the 9:45. As you can see here, 9:45 was here. This is when we're gonna start looking for setups. Okay, you can see here something like an inverse fair value gap happened here. Okay, what I'll be looking for, it's either I'll go down to the 1 minute if the 5-minute isn't very clear for me. Okay, like the one before. Okay, but as you can see here, we have a big fair value gap right here. My entry model would have been to wait for the tap of this fair value gap for me to go higher. But as you can see, that didn't happen here at all. So it's either going to be a missed trade and then maybe try to look for the continuation again, or just be done for the day. Like they say, a break-even day is a green day, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to trade every day, to make money.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
Another entry model would have been very convenient as well, which was the inverse fair value gap. As you can see right here, we got a pretty good inverse fair value gap. Okay, let me just draw that better. So we got an inverse fair value gap. Like I said, the inverse goes lower and then just breaks past the gap. Your entry model would have been very perfect and would have been here. Okay, so you can usually, the strategy, you can use it a couple of times. You don't have to be very specific with it, where you just trade from 9:45 to 10:15. You can go a bit lenient if you're confident.
Okay.
So as you could see here, if you missed a trade, it didn't reverse, it doesn't always go your way. You could also enter a bit later, but with a tighter stop so that you're just more safe. Okay. So as you can see here, we went for a 1 to 2 easy and our risk was pretty good. Okay. Because if it didn't go back here and just broke the most recent high, it's very doubtful that it's going to go back. They usually call this a breakaway gap, where the market doesn't really retrace to it always, leaves it there and then retraces way, way later, in the future. So here's another example. Okay, this happened on the 2nd of April. As you can see here, you can really easily identify the accumulation during Asia, which is like around here. So the market is kind of moving sideways not like very high. It happened where it moved, you know, an impulse move over here, but I think that's a news move. We're not trading that anyway, right?
And do you trade news, by the way?
No, I would really like to trade after the news, you know, and see where the market goes. But like during, when the news is coming out, that's very risky, and that's
You don't like
beginner.
the report CPI?
On evals, yeah, sometimes I do. Sometimes I used to do that. Everyone went through that, right?
Yeah, of course.
So you can very easily identify where the accumulation is happening, which is right here. And just like we said, you know, we wait for the manipulation,
Yep.
which is taking Asia lows, okay, and then we're gonna be looking for the distribution. 9:30 opened, manipulated up, went down, took liquidity, and where our bias is looking for buys. We aren't looking for any kind of sells, so we're just gonna be looking for buys. So even if this impulse move happened, which is right here, wouldn't really phase us.
Yep.
Because we're gonna be looking for buys. That's where our entry would have been. And just like that, we're gonna go at full TP. The problem is also with this entry model, which is the inverse fair value gap, your entry is not gonna be always precise. So take care of that. Use proper risk management because it's an impulse entry, you could say, but it works pretty well. And also the SL and your risk is not gonna be very high. So you could be a bit more careful with that. You know, if you go down on the 1 minute even, okay, you could have caught the entry even way before that. But on the 5 minutes, it's just more. If you went
Extra confirmation.
exactly. So if you went on the 1 minute, you could see here that it took liquidity just here, and then the inverse happened here, and your stops would have been even tighter. This is where it inversed fully. Yeah, it inversed over here as well. Okay, but it inversed both of the fair value gaps, and then your entry would have been here. Your SL has been very close, okay, and then you could have targeted way higher. Your risk management has to be on point with your lot size and your contracts
Because your discipline as well.
Exactly. This is an impulse entry type of model with the inverse and the change in state. Sometimes it doesn't retest, sometimes it retests. You know, it's how the market goes. So that's why I really like this entry model, because it's either I'm in or I'm not. And the SL is like very tight. Sometimes it isn't. That's when your risk management comes into place. If your entry and the SL is like very far apart, your risk has to be way lower than usually is, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you for coming on the show today,
No
Mounir.
worries.
I appreciate it.
For
and
sure.
if you guys do want to see more of this strategy in depth, we also have his course and strategy featured inside Wayond Plus. So be sure to check the description below. And if you do want to see another episode of part 2, comment down below what you'd like to see, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I will catch you guys next time. See you later.
See you, man.